Here we go, section 5.5, graphs of relations and functions. So a few things that we have to remember at this point. A relation, I'll change colors on that one. A relation is a rule that associates elements of one set to elements of another set. What is the phrase that attaches them together? So for down here, examples, here we're looking at the masses of student versus height, outside temperature over 24 hours. So there's some kind of relationship between the two sets of values. Function. A function is a relation where each element of the first set is associated with exactly one, that's key, exactly one element in the second set. Domain, we now know at this point after all our practice, is the function, domain of a function is the set of values of the independent variable. The first set of elements in a relation or function, normally the left-hand side of your table, the x values in an equation. Okay, those are all the domain values. And the range of a function is the set of values of the independent variables. The range of a function is the set of dependent variables, the ones that depend on what the other one is. Or the y values of our graph, the horizontal or the vertical axis. All those could be used to describe range. Now, there's a very simple way to test whether or not a function or some kind of relation is a function, and that's called the vertical line test. Vertical line test, simply stated, if you can draw a vertical line between 2 points, then it's not a function. So a graph represents a function when no 2 points on the graph are on the same vertical line. So if you can draw 2 points, then it's not a function. Okay? So two ways to kind of look at that. Example 1, use the vertical line test to determine if the following relations are functions. So here we have a relation between the masses of students against height. We have our independent variable height, our dependent variable mass, with some scales and labels and titles, all kinds of perfect things we need for a graph. We need a title, label and units, proper scales. Okay, so all that stuff's included, which is perfect. Our vertical line test, simply stated, is if I can draw a vertical line through 2 points on this graph, kind of like right there, or right here, or right here, this says that this is not a function. F'(n) function. F'(n) function. Okay, so this is not a function because I can draw 2 points through draw a line through 2 points with respect to what's being graphed here. Our other graph here, we have a outside temperature graph. We have time as our independent variable down here. Time is our independent variable, temperature our dependent variable. We have a number of different points, but nowhere on this graph can I draw a vertical line and go through 2 points. Okay, so because I can do that, because I can't draw a line between 2 points, this is a function. Okay, so simple vertical line test indicates or tells you whether or not a relation is a function or not. We'll do example 2 in this video as well. So over the page. Example 2 says determine the domain and range of each function. So I know that these are function because I can do my vertical line test. My vertical line says that there are no 2 points that go on that vertical line. So this is a function. So let's do our domain and range. You've had lots of practice at this already, so this should be not too bad. So this is an endpoint that includes, because it's solid, includes that value. This indicates that it goes on forever, although there is no arrow. So you can assume that it does go on forever. There's no endpoint. Okay. So our domain, all our possible x values. Well, we know that x cannot equal like 6, but it can equal 5, and it can equal everything less than 5. So I simply say my domain is x has to be greater than or equal to 5. And my range, What's my lowest value for y? Well, lowest value for y can be, change color slightly, I can go far into the negative values for y, but I can only go as high as 2, and then it stops. So y has to be less than equal to 2. And there's your domain and range. Here's graph B. This one I find a little simpler because we have 2 definite endpoints, there and there. So I can say my domain. What's my left-hand side value? Well, that's -3. What's my right-hand side value? Put in my symbols and my x. My right-hand side value is 5. My range, which my lowest value? My lowest value is 3. Again, symbols, y. And my highest value is 7. Domain and range. Okay, you should have had lots of practice at that by now, and may not come that quickly for you, but should come fairly quick. And remember, practice, practice, practice.